Hey, how's it going? I was gonna do part two, the pen and pencil holder or storage organization for it, but that's gonna be in about 2 weeks because I'm still ironing out the details. So tonight I'm going to compare hot press versus cold press watercolor paper. And that's mostly, to satisfy my curiosity. What is the difference? Is there a difference? And so I have 3 pieces of paper, watercolor paper. The first one is, I labeled them, Fabriano hot press paper. And this measures 4 by 6. I'm going to be doing watercolor and sea salt on these papers. This is just my mat. Basically, it's mixed media paper. And then Canson cold press. They're all 140 pound. And then this one, Oat Art Studio hot press. Now this one in particular has, I have the pad for that, and that's what this one looks like. It has a texture to it, and some people on Amazon, some of the reviews, some people are saying that this can't be hot press because there's a texture. But the texture is not, it's not very toothy, it doesn't, I can maybe show you, I don't know. Oh yeah, there you can kind of see it a little bit there. And this is Canson. It has actually, this has a little bit more texture than the Canson watercolor paper. You can kind of see that a little bit there. And then Fabriano hot press paper is totally smooth. To me, it reminds me of cardstock paper. That's what this is. So I like using the Fabriano one, and I've used that in the past. And I haven't yet tried the Oat Art Studio one. So I thought what I would do is the cold press, not the cold press, sorry, the watercolor and sea salt to make some abstract pictures. And hopefully I'll be able to let's do it this way. So I have them labeled so I know once I color them, I'll be hard pressed to see which one is which, especially Canson and Oat Art, since they kind of feel the same. Okay, so we'll put Canson in the middle. It's a little more off-white than the other two. The Oat Art Studio here has it's whiter, I should say. Has a whiter appearance. Okay, so also I'm going to use Chromatech watercolor brush pens for this. I've never tried these for this particular project, so I'm interested in seeing what kind of design those make. And I have 6 colors, 2 purples, 2 blues, and 2 greens, to see how I can, how well they work. And I'm going to start actually with the purple. So I have violet and amethyst, then blue and azure, azure and green and grass green. Okay, so I'm just going to start. I'm just going to put some color. These have a brush tip to them. Ooh, nice, alright. And almost seem like they're dry, but when I did the other, what was the other one that I did? It's right there on the tip of my tongue. I'm on videos, I can't think. Ooh, you can definitely see the texture on this Oat Art Studio when I apply the color down. The marker definitely goes better, goes down better on the Fabriano here. And then this is amethyst. I don't think I would call this amethyst. What was the other? I just did it too. There's even a swatching video for it. Okay, blue. Man, it was one, oh, the Crafty Croc, that's what it was. Where it seemed like it was dry when I was doing it for the watercolor and sea salt picture. But it turned out great for the swatching video, so I thought that was interesting. Okay. Azure. Ooh, vibrant. I don't know if I should do the green. Maybe I'll just stick with the blue and the purple. Because I don't want to create mud with the purple and the amethyst mixed with the green. I run the chance of, you know, making muddy colors. Mud is a color too. It's just I don't want the muddy color on these pictures. Whoa, that's cool. So, just right now, it looks like a big old scribbled mess. And I'm okay with that. Just consider it to be like a doodle. Okay, let's try it out now. So we're going to skip the green. And it's definitely lighter, right? Lighter on the Haute Art. Darker, a little bit darker. Says lighter, darker, darkest. As far as colors go. And let me see. I have this set on medium. And I have 2 containers of grinder salt. They're McCormick sea salt grinders. And they're both set on medium. The other day I put up a shelf. Whoa. I put a shelf up in my cabinet where all my coffee stuff is. And I found a giant container of McCormick sea salt grinder. It was plastic. I probably got it from a friend. Okay. Let's try this one. It's already bubbling. I probably got the set because I have salt and pepper in the large plastic containers. I don't generally put salt on pepper on my food. Oh yeah, I put salt on my food. A lot. Probably too much, some people say. Look at that bubbling. The buckling from the Canson is buckling. Well, they're all buckling, right? Oh, this depends on how they were cut. Coconut is in the background. She might give her 2 cents worth. In a minute. So I have to let these dry, and which is what I'm gonna do, let them dry. I see. So we are seeing some, it's hard to say. We're seeing some blending, some sea salt effect. Cool. And maybe I'll come in a few minutes just to show you if there's any more of an effect on it. I can zoom in a little bit. Okay, so can you see the effect? That is a really cool picture. It looks awesome. All 3 pictures look really cool. I maybe should have put maybe a little more color there or something. I like the way the Fabriano paper is designing the colors, I guess, or how the colors are designed on there. Pretty cool. Okay, let me come back in maybe 20 minutes to see if there's any more of an effect that the sea salt is going to make on the paper before it dries. And I think as it dries, the paper is going to come down. Let's put it this way. I hope as it dries, the paper is going to unbuckle, I guess. I'll be back. Okay, it's only been a few minutes actually. Maybe not even 10 minutes. And as you can see, we're already having an effect here. And the Haute Art Studio, this one, the Canson one, it instantly had an effect. I turned off the camera and I just looked at it, everything more closely, and I thought, oh, look at that. That's already creating the design, the effect, sea salt, the color pushing away from the sea salt. And the Haute Art hot press and Fabriano hot press took a little bit longer. This one, the Haute Art Studio, that paper unbuckled faster than the other two. I think this one took the longest. And this one, while I was just kind of looking at it, it went down, you know, it kind of shifted and went down a little bit. I thought, okay, then that's great. They're going to maybe lie a little bit flatter. I don't expect them to lie completely flat when they dry. When they dry, what I've seen in the past with watercolor and sea salt is that they feel very stiff, and stiffer than before color is added or before anything is added to the paper. So I will do like the roll it out. Let's like take the paper and just kind of go like that on it, and then that kind of takes out the bends, so to speak. So I'll be back when this dries. These are still wet. Okay, these are dry, and I want to talk about this one, which is the Canson paper. I set this whole thing aside to dry. I picked it all up. I have these two sheets mixed media paper. I have them taped together, and I set it aside to dry, and there must have been a puddle here, but you know, I don't see that puddle, which is weird. Unless I inadvertently turned it around when I was doing it. And so when I brought it back to look at it, see if it was dry, there was that little puddle. I was like, oh no. So I actually put a little bit of salt on there. Maybe I could pick up a mark or an effect or something. And there is kind of an effect. I got sap on my hands there. Kinda. So I have to now take the salt off. And while these were drying, I took the remainder of the paper. No, Stormy. No, Stormy. Stormy wants to come over. I don't know why. Because the sun is kind of rising. It is kind of daylight. But it's not out. You know, it's not... Usually she likes to lie over here in this area when the sun is blazing through the window. And that's in late afternoon. So it's kind of weird that she wants to be over here. I have to tell her no. Okay, so what was I saying? She distracted me. I have to take the salt off. Also, I noticed I missed the spot right there. I didn't even notice that until... when I was checking to see if it was dry. Stormy? No, Stormy. Okay. I wish there was a pause button on this camera, on this handy cam, but no. I don't think that's a feature on any camcorder. Maybe all these companies need to make a pause button so I can just pause instead of creating a new video file. Okay, so let's try and take these off. And you can see I was looking at the designs. Oh, that's what I was. While this was drying, I took the other, all of the paper. It comes from 9x12 watercolor paper, you know, the Fabriano, the Canson, and the Haute Art Studio. So the leftover paper is, this is the Fabriano paper, so that's one of the leftover pieces of it. I can't even, oh my gosh. Okay, that's one of the leftover pieces, right? And that's the size, and then of course I have the little ones, which are over here somewhere, to like that much of it, I guess. That much of it. And I took a bigger piece of the Haute Art Studio, and I created this masterpiece. And just look at the design there. This is what this paper creates when I do a watercolor and sea salt on a bigger piece of paper. It even does it on this one, I noticed a little bit. And like, this is really cool. And I added more colors. I did add the green down here. And I just think that is wild looking. And I'm thinking, I don't know if this is hot press, you know, because I'm getting a wild effect from it. And if you look at the Canson, there is a lot of effect from the sea salt and the water. A lot. Look at all of this stuff right here. Even there. That's wild. And this is the Fabriano one. And there is an effect on this one as well, but it's not, the shapes here are not as big. So I thought that was interesting. And then the Haute Art Studio one, these shapes are bigger. And I thought, maybe that's not hot press. Haute Art Studio claims that this is hot press paper, but just because it says it on the cover doesn't mean that the paper under the cover is going to be, you know, what they say it is. So I'm kind of up in the air. It makes really cool designs, and I thought, oh, maybe this is the one to use then for when I do watercolor and sea salt. This might be the paper to use, the Haute Art Studio one. So I'm glad I bought it. Okay, now we have to take the salt off. So what we have here is, oh, another thing that I didn't point out, but that I noticed was that the Fabriano here, the salt was not as colorful as on the Canson paper. And then when I was wiping off the salt from the Canson paper, I noticed it started pilling here, and I thought, oh, that's not good at all. That could still be a little bit damp, I'm thinking. Okay, and that's only because it would have normally been dry, but I added a little bit more color here to this spill part, this little puddle, and then sprayed it with water and put sea salt down, so it might still be damp from that. So we have, I'm just gonna put these back on this paper here. Fabriano, Canson, and Oat Art Studio. So what do you think? You think there's a big effect? Do you think there's a difference between hot and cold press? This would be the Fabriano hot press, which is a nice smooth paper. And I didn't do a good job of putting that salt away, huh? This does have, I'm going to show it this way. This does have effects. Sea salt effects there. Pretty cool. It's a pretty cool design. And it's going to show so you can see. I like it. I like all three designs. They're really cool. And then the Canson, minus the spill area there, I guess. That's a pretty cool effect too. I think there's more of an effect on the cold press paper than on the hot press paper. And like I said, that makes me think that this is cold press. Maybe it's between hot and cold. Maybe it's lukewarm press. Is that such a thing? I don't think so. But there were designs created on this paper as well. Pretty cool. So put your comments, you know, put your viewpoint in the comments below the video and let me know. I will put links to the Oat Art Studio, the Canson, and the Fabriano. The Fabriano comes in a 50 sheet pack for about $25, and I bought that on Amazon Prime Day, but it wasn't Prime, like it wasn't on sale because it was on Prime Day. I got it because I thought, let me try this hot press paper out, this brand, Fabriano. And I really like it. It's great. And then I said, I think I said in either last Craftivity video, I'm going to go get another pack of it, and I did. So that's coming today, actually. It's on Prime Day, when I ordered it on Prime Day, I actually paid more for it, like $4 more. And now it's like, it was $29 that I paid for it, and it was $25. It's $25 right now for 50 sheets. So that's pretty good. I like that. And it looks like a nice hefty pack, you know. So, and I can't remember the price I paid for the Canson one. That's a spiral bound pad of paper, and then this one also is spiral bound, and this was the least expensive. I think it was, I want to say like $14 maybe. And as far as the Chromatech watercolor brush pens, I'm not sure how much I paid for those, and that was 50 colors with 4 water brush pens included, and a little pad of paper, artist paper, watercolor paper. So I'll put the links to all 4 of these items, and even, well, 5 if you count the sea salt grinder. Please comment, like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching, and have a creative day. Bye.